welcome to this CU podcast, this stuffy CU podcast for Tuesday, October 15th, 2019, alongside Better Than Pat Health-wise Ian Ferguson. I'm Pat Contry. Today we'll be discussing, Ian, the end of Fortnite.
Oh boy, it's done.
Yeah, it's done forever. Blizzard somewhat stepping back their decision on the suspension of their player over the Hong Kong protests. Enchanted Portals controversy, Ian. The Mike Postle poker scandal, if we get to it. A Patreon poll topic and a Q&A. Ian, you've been playing Killer Queen Black?
Yeah, I have. I picked it up on Friday. I had been looking forward to it for quite some time.
It's out to get you. She's a killer.
I didn't see this coming miles away.
Miles O'Keefe.
So, if people who don't know what Killer Queen is, Killer Queen started in the arcade in 2013.
Wow, that long.
Yeah, the team I believe is called Chicken Over Rice. I think they go by Bumble Bear Games now. It's a 5-on-5. The original arcade game was a 5-on-5 team-based game that people said was similar to like an MMO in terms of how it played. Basically, there's a queen on each side that's player controlled, and then there's a bunch of workers. There's 4 workers, and the goal is to win via one of 3 main methods. There's the military victory, where you kill the opposing queen 3 times. An economic victory, where you gather enough berries and take them back to your home base. And then there's the snail victory, where you ride a snail back to your
across the screen.
And
that's one. It's like a tug of war almost, right? With one
right.
bottom.
With the snail is more like a tug of war. So the game is 2D, and it plays.
It's 5-on-5.
5-on-5. At least it was in the arcade, and it plays like the combat's a little bit like Joust. So
Combat.
I'll jump to Killer Queen Black. Killer Queen Black is 4-on-4, but everything remains basically the same. So the win conditions are the same. Some of the main differences are they add new troop types. So in the original, you could only upgrade a worker into a fighter, and they had a sword. Basically, you'd play like Joust and try to kill the other queen or the other warriors.
You hit them on top and they die.
Exactly.
Then you respawn after however many seconds.
Yeah, it's like 3 seconds. In Killer Queen Black, there is an actual attack button, which is nice to use. And not only are there sword soldiers, but there's also laser rifle soldiers and Morningstar soldiers and shield soldiers, which can ride the snail, which make it easier to move the snail along. So it's a really fast game, and until you like put your hands on it and start playing it, it looks like it's impossible to follow. But once you're actually playing it, it's easy to get in the zone and kind of try to figure out where people should be putting their effort at any point during a match.
Sure.
I was surprised that when I was it's crossplay between Switch and PC. I think it'll be crossplay on all platforms actually, and that's good because something like this is going to 100% thrive on its online community. So limiting it to just one system would probably kill the momentum behind it fairly quickly. But as of over the weekend, I played a ton of it. And
each game is like 5 minutes?
They're
fairly
so
short?
it's best of 3, and I've had entire rounds go in like a minute and a half. But I mean, if the people are playing better, yeah, it's probably about 5 minutes.
5 minutes, because then you can defend yourself, and then you go for the other berries and try to counter.
Yeah, I mean, but within 5 minutes, something's happened. I mean, you those 3 rounds have taken place,
and it's not exactly a single screen. I mean, it's a giant single screen, right?
Yeah, it's one single screen.
Yeah.
There is no scrolling.
There's no scrolling in this one.
No.
Okay.
You see everything on the screen.
They compress it enough that you can see it without scrolling. Okay, that's interesting. Because remember, this was a massive. If people never saw it, it's a massive arcade game.
Yeah,
with 10 players control panel.
Yeah, they do separate ones, and then they have a real big, I think, like single unit ones. But I prefer the multiple unit ones because they usually distance them, so you can talk to your team while you're playing.
Sure. So my parents visited last week, and I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty details of that. That's why I'm sick, though. My parents got me sick, which we'll get into. Went to the zoo, which was good.
Yes.
The tigers were the fishing cat was running about, was walking about, first time ever. Went like 1:30 in the afternoon. That's the fishing cat time, I guess. This is all you gotta need to know about how well it went overall. They might be listening. Um, uh, my dad didn't ask to look at the new book or open it up. Didn't seem like he had any interest in looking at the book. And then it was my father's birthday on Saturday.
Oh.
And so on Friday, Friday they went out to eat for breakfast to Denny's. They came back and I said, you know what? I'll take you out tomorrow. We'll go to Breakfast Republic. It's like the best breakfast place,
Sure.
Breakfast Republic. Let's do that. And my dad said, "Oh, it's like $30 to eat breakfast." I'm like, "I'll pay for it. It's your birthday." So Saturday morning comes, and I'm already feeling kind of sniffly. I'm getting a little better, and then I don't hear anything. Like 8 o'clock, I'm in my bedroom. I don't hear anything, so my door's closed. They had left to go to Denny's again. When they get back, I'm like, what's happening? Because they were leaving Saturday morning to go up. They're driving up the coast. And my dad said, "Oh, I thought you were sleeping. I didn't want to bother you." So then they packed and left. So that's how my experience went with my parents when they were over. And they got me sick. And the best thing when I was getting really sicker on Friday, my mom said to me, "Ian, it's all in your head that I'm getting sick," which harkened me back to I've mentioned it in a couple of NES Punk videos. I think one in particular did a rant on it. I had about 5 perfect attendance awards in grade school out of the 8 years. What was it, K+8?
I remember you telling me
I had about 5, maybe 6 perfect attendance awards.
Because your mom just told you to suck it up.
And those years that I was sick was no more than 1 or 2 days each year. No more.
Right.
I probably was out of school in 9 years of grade school. I probably was home for like a week and a half out of 9 years. That's not even a joke. And so it harkened back to that, and it triggered me in that moment where I was like, wow, yep, no, I don't like this. So anyway, that was my that was my experience for like 3-4 days. So we got convention coming up though, Ian.
Yes, we do.
We're going to be at Portland Retro Gaming Expo, and that's this weekend in Portland, Oregon. Go to retrogamingexpo.com. We'll be at the half a mega booth, and that's October 19th and 20th. We're going to have new enamel pins. Kieran will put the graphic up over here somewhere. There's a new limited t-shirt, and I'm going to have a somewhat limited quantity of the new Super Nintendo guidebook. Now, it was not my intention, and I have to apologize to those that pre-ordered it. I thought by now it'd be in your hands, but things happen, unfortunately, and the shipment, the different shipments for the warehouse versus going to the conventions, the timing was off. But it will be at the warehouse and ready to pack up and get sent out next week, so it won't be too much more of a delay there. And if you're going to Retropalooza, which is the same weekend, put on by our pals Billy and Jay in Arlington, Texas this weekend, there's also going to be a limited amount of the Super Nintendo books for sale if you go to the Screenwave Media booth, or if you go to the Game Brothers booth run by my friend Greg Honeycutt there. So they'll be available there as well. But pre-orders, they're coming soon. They're on the boat. I wish I could speed it up. Fortunately, I can't. But yeah, that's what's going on there. And we got a fun show lined up, Ian.
Yeah, we got new merch. We've got new pins. We have
new colds.
I'm looking. I just saw the enamel pins. I really like those.
You did.
Lot,
and there's going to be a new analog announcement that's going to happen. We'll tell about it at Portland.
Yeah, we'll talk about that during our panel. We'll do our live podcast. I also have a panel, a Tales from the Game Store panel with Matt Artem and Cody Spencer. So that should be fun.
Suing for trademark infringement there. All right, moving on.